Hello, and this week on Ready to React, we're going to discuss the potential purchase of 21st Century Fox by Disney and how that can affect the Avengers 4 movie. In addition, the DCEU is not going to reboot and moving forward, but how can they avoid future mistakes that were made in the past? I'll tell you that and more next on Ready to React. Hello and welcome to Ready to React. Thank you so much for watching this episode, as we're going to have a couple of subjects that we're going to discuss. As this is Star Wars week. And after Thursday, I think all we're going to be talking about is Star Wars for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I got some predictions that I might run past you guys later on. But right now, we're going to talk about a couple of subjects, things going on right now. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the potential purchase of 21st Century Fox by Disney. Now, I have some notes here that I wanted to go over about that purchase and everything and how the purchase will affect, in my opinion, Avengers 4. Now, remember, as always, leave your comments and your storylines and theories down below the comment section. You can hit me up on Twitter and Facebook as well, because I would love to hear from you guys and what you think based on my opinions, and I'd like to hear your opinions as well. So, how can the purchase affect Avengers 4 in a couple of different ways? Now, of course, this deal is not done yet, but it's pretty much wrapped up, at my understanding, reading online. And if this happens, I think we're going to see a couple of things in Avengers 4. Now, of course, Infinity War, it's probably a little too late to do anything. I guess they could throw on a post-credit scene if they wanted to. They still got time to do that. And who knows? Disney is well-oiled machine. They run really well. They know what they're doing, unlike DC, unfortunately. And they possibly could do another post-credit scene if they already have 2. They can maybe do 3, or maybe just add another one, or leave it alone until Avengers 4. But the potential purchase of Fox brings in some characters that are essential to the Infinity War storyline. If you read the books, or if you haven't read the books, there are a couple of characters that are very key to that storyline. One is Silver Surfer. And that, I believe, will be a person that Disney will definitely include in Avengers 4 if they get this purchase with Fox. Because I think they'll have a Silver Surfer appear somewhere in there helping to get the gauntlet off of Thanos, or helping out somewhere. And I think that's going to be a great storyline if they could put that Silver Surfer in there. Another couple of characters they can put in is the Fantastic Four. I think no doubt we will see a cameo from Fantastic Four helping out one way or the other. I mean, look, we just saw in Spider-Man Homecoming, Tony Stark moved out of the Avengers Tower, the former Avengers Tower. Now, there are some theories online about who's buying that. Was it Oscorp? Very good theory. It could have been Oscorp. I can see them doing Oscorp. But now with the purchase of Fantastic Four, I think more than likely it's going to be the Baxter Building. Reed Richards has bought that building, and that's going to be the Fantastic Four Baxter Building. That's how they're going to introduce them. I think they will have a cameo and a significant role in the back end, or maybe the front end, of Avengers 4, no doubt. Excuse me. I think that's a great way to bring those characters in. They're part of the Infinity War and the Thanos Crusade storyline. If you read the comic books, Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer are a major part of that, as well as the X-Men. The X-Men characters themselves, they don't have to necessarily use them, but I think the fact that they will have the X-Men, we could see Wolverine. I mean, how crazy would that be to see Wolverine pop up in Avengers 4 fighting Thanos, and they bring the mutants in. Some of them. I don't think they'll bring a bunch of them in, but you can see Wolverine. You could maybe see Cyclops, of course. He was a big part of the last battle of Thanos in the comic books. You could see Storm possibly. But if they were, I don't know if they're going to go that far deep, but if they do go, I think they will have Wolverine for sure. Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four. Could they show Doctor Doom at the end? Maybe plotting at the end, show a little cameo of him? Maybe. I think they'll save Doctor Doom probably to the Fantastic Four movie. But those other 3 characters, I think they definitely could appear in Avengers 4 and can only help the storyline. Marvel's been waiting, and Kevin Feige, a long time to get those characters because they're part of the whole Infinity War. And they've done a great job of going on telling the Infinity War story without Reed Richards, without the Fantastic Four, without the Silver Surfer, without Galactus even. But now to have those guys back, you can bet your bottom dollar as they're shooting Avengers 4 right now, they're waiting. They might throw another scene in there and have Reed Richards in there even as a cameo or something at the end of the movie helping out. And I wouldn't put it past Disney at all to do that. They know what they're doing over there. They know just how to sprinkle those little nuggets in there for us fans of comic books and Marvel, and of course the Infinity War comic book. They know exactly how to do it just right to satisfy us and say, wow, blow it out of the park again. Disney has done it again. Marvel's done it again with great Easter eggs and great storylines. So I think we'll see that in Avengers 4. I think that will affect Avengers 4 quite a bit. Now, another thing that came up, that's coming up and being discussed, and I'm sure you have discussed this yourself with your friends online, Reddit online, maybe on message boards, Twitter feeds, on other shows perhaps, about what does the purchase of Fox by Disney do to their rated R properties. You know, you had a rated R Logan, you have rated R Deadpool. You're gonna have, I'm not sure, but I think New Mutants is gonna be rated R. Some of you guys can help me out in the comment section below. I think New Mutants is rated R. It may be PG-13, I don't know, but it is a horror film. What are they gonna do with that? Okay, my theory, because this is the show about storylines and theories. My theory on that is I think Marvel is going to make a separate division. So we have the Marvel logo, the Marvel films, and most of the Fox properties will be under there as far as the superhero properties. But then I think they're going to have, much like the comic books, another division called Marvel Max. So when under those films, those will be your rated R, your edgy PG-13 films under the Marvel Max. And, certain characters will fall under there, I think. If they ever decide to do a live-action Punisher, that would fall under Marvel Max, where you can make it rated R, separate from Marvel movies. I think we'll also see Deadpool fall under there. Deadpool will fall under Marvel because they want to keep. I think they're going to keep Deadpool going. Now there is some thought that they might let Ryan Reynolds do Deadpool 3, and then cancel that Deadpool out and bring a new Deadpool into the MCU, and that's not so gritty and stuff. They could do that, and I wouldn't put it past Disney to do that. However, if Deadpool 2 is such a success and they decide, there's some characters that can be told in a darker rated R format, part of the MCU, sort of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., meaning they exist there, but they're not really, or, I'm not sure how they might do it. They might just keep it separate altogether. So if they decide to do that, okay, then we'll have the Marvel Max rated R. So you got Punisher, Deadpool will fall under there. New Mutants will fall under there if they continue to do so. Werewolf by Night, if they ever decide to go into darker, some of the mystical things. Reboot of Ghost Rider definitely belongs in there. Love to see that. And if they did a reboot of Blade, I would love to see a rated R Blade. So they can have all those characters under their own cinematic universe within the Marvel universe if they decide to keep it separate, or if they decide to keep it part of it. But see, the problem is, if you make it part of the MCU, then people are going to say, well, this event took place. Where is Deadpool? Where is Blade? Where is Ghost Rider? But then on the other hand, these guys are still on the outskirts. They're not really heroes. They're anti-heroes. Ghost Rider isn't trying to defend the Earth against the next invasion. Blade is more concerned with trying to kill vampires, not really galactic things or other threats. Deadpool, he doesn't care either way, but he will probably help out. Punisher, low level, he's not going to be involved. They bet not have him involved in any of those galactic battles or any of those world dominating battles. This guy with a gun, for goodness sake. I love Punisher, but come on. I mean, they're pushing it as it is, having Black Widow and Hawkeye involved as much as they are. I mean, my goodness, I don't know about you guys, but if I see Black Widow taking on any of the troops of the Black Order in Infinity War, I'm done. Okay, I mean, come on, please don't insult us. She's a skilled fighter, but she's not fighting these creatures who are 8 feet tall, possibly 500 pounds, vicious. Come on, I don't care how many moves she has. She has those superpowers. Neither does Hawkeye. Hawkeye want to stay in the background and shoot, that's fine. But don't get me started on that. We'll talk about that in about 4 or 5 months when Avengers War, Infinity War comes out, and then we can see what they did with the characters and their fight scene. But that's always been an issue with mine about those two characters involved in galactic level stuff, because they are this human. They have no particular technology that protects them like Iron Man, and no powers like Black Panther, like Steve Rogers, things of that nature. But anyway, let's move on, so to speak. So those are some of the characters I can see that Marvel either is going to absorb in the MCU, make a separate division called Marvel Max. That's just my opinion. Marvel Max. They can call it anything, or just reboot those characters and make them, a little lighter. Reboot the Ghost Rider, Deadpool, Punisher. Put him in there. Punisher is gonna be hard because he's killing people. I don't know if they want that in MCU, but they could. So those are pretty much the things I think that will affect the MCU and Avengers 4 if they acquire purchase of 21st Century Fox go to Disney, which it looks like is almost 90% done. So it's an exciting time for us who are Marvel fans, who want to see all these characters brought together, brought back home. Of course, they don't own Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is part of the MCU. They have an agreement. And I'm excited, to say the least. It's going to be great. Phase 4 will be the Fantastic Four phase, which will see them leading things off, along with the new X-Men reboot and all kind of great things. So great news for all us comic book fans, all our sweaties, all us that love movies like myself, just to go forward. So again, send your comments. Tell me what you think about how the Fox deal will affect the Avengers 4 movie and Phase 4 of the MCU. How it's going to affect what characters you want to see and who you think might show up in Avengers 4. Tell me in the comments. I read all the comments, and I thank you all for adding in your wisdom and your thoughts and theory. There are no bad answers, just bad times, and we're not having any bad times here. We're having good times, and I want to definitely see get your opinion and maybe something I didn't think of that you have in your mind, a thought, a theory, a storyline. Please put in the comment section below. Tell me what you think, and I definitely will probably comment on that the next show, go into a little bit, probably 2 shows 2 weeks later, because it's going to be all Star Wars in a matter of 3 days. Star Wars all day, all night for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be amazing. But anyway, that's the story. One of the storylines I want to go over. Okay, so now going into the next storyline that I want to go into is, as you may or may not know, I don't know if you've been following or not, I had a video about 5 reasons why the DCEU hurt Justice League and why it's underperforming. I think they're going to make their budget back. I think it's almost at $600 million almost, but nowhere near where it should be for a Justice League movie. But we've talked about that in my last video. If you didn't see it, go check it out. 5 reasons why the DCEU hurt Justice League. But in that video, I discussed about what I thought they should do and reboot it. Not because I want it rebooted. I don't want it rebooted, but because it's probably the best thing to do, because the general public has lost faith in the DCEU, in DC films. They don't expect them to be great. They're not excited about them. And you see that Justice League is the lowest opening. I mean, that's crazy. But anyway, we spoke about that. But now they've been, I guess, at the Brazil Comic-Con. If you haven't seen it online, there's comments made by DC that they're not rebooting. They're going forward. There's shakeups being made over at DC. I guess Jeff Johns got moved to a different position, promoted or demoted, so to speak. Another person got moved somewhere else. But the problem is studio interference, still studio interference, and not lining up the right directors with the right projects. That's always been an issue with DC. So, they're going to go forward with it. But the question is, how can they go forward and not repeat mistakes made in the past? And getting rid of Snyder is not the end all and the problem with the universe. It's a problem that, as far as Snyder is a good director, but was attached to the wrong kind of movies. But still, there is a problem with storytelling, with getting the editing right, extended cuts, not showing what should be the final cut, what shouldn't, CG problems, all those things. Those are all studio stuff that got to be corrected in one leader, one direction, which they don't have. And again, you can see it with the slate they put out. If you go online, they said they're showing a bunch of different movies they still got on the slate. That makes no sense. Batgirl, You're gonna have a Batgirl movie really before Batman, okay? Flashpoint, you know, they have Suicide Squad 2, just a jumble of movies that make no sense. And a lot of people have lost their enthusiasm. I am a DC fan, people. I love Marvel and I love DC. Love DC. But I'm not excited anymore. My excitement was leading up to Justice League. I was very forgiving all the way to Justice League, thinking, hey, they're gonna hit it out the park with this one. Justice League gonna be amazing. They're gonna correct everything. And I was really let down. And I think a lot of you, the fans out there, were really let down and hurt by what you saw. By wow, it wasn't a bad movie. I liked it, but it wasn't what it should have been. You know, it's like Christmas coming in. You've been wanting this one present, this one toy, this one thing all year long, telling your parents about it, and you open it up and you don't exactly get that. You wanted a PlayStation 4 and you got uh, a Nintendo Switch, which is Nintendo Switch is fantastic, great device, but it's not the PlayStation 4. It let you down. Not that you don't like what you have, but it let you down to what it could have been, what that day could have been, opening up that gift and that reaction and that feeling. That's what the DCEU did to a lot of fans. And we're hardcore fans. We're going to go see those movies no matter what. But now, what about the other people? The regular people? Because those are the ones that are going to set your movie off and get into $150 million opening, $200 million opening, things like we're going to see in 5 months with Infinity War. Like we're going to see. That may be one of the top grossing movies of all time. It really may be. It may only be beaten by another Star Wars movie or by Avengers 4. But that's the feeling we should have felt. So just going into some of the movies, the next 4 movies they said they have coming out, okay, from DC. Aquaman. Now we know Aquaman's coming out. Nothing we can do about that. It's already made. I'm hoping it's probably going to be a standalone film like Wonder Woman. So hopefully it'll be pretty good. James Wan has a good reputation. And we'll see how he takes this movie. I am concerned because just because of the reputation of Justice League, how good Aquaman will be perceived. Now, there's 2 things that are good and bad. Good thing is the movie doesn't come out for another 9 or 8 months, so people thought the Justice League may be gone and may look at Aquaman as a whole new film, separate, and going with open mind. The bad thing is, out of sight, out of mind. There will be no talk about DC for 9 to 10 months. The last thing you saw with Justice League, if you liked it or didn't, it has that feeling or taste in its mouth. And when Aquaman comes around, you're like, I'm not going to see this. I'm going to wait. I think, personally, Aquaman will be hurt by Justice League performance. I really do. And I don't know, and James Wan always shot it, so I don't know if it has a connecting tissue at all or it's a standalone. But it's a shame. That this movie can't continue on, but they're going to continue on, and maybe it'll do well. But Aquaman, $75 million opening, maybe, if that. Hopefully it's a good story. Because it's a good story. Batman v Superman. Look at that. Wasn't well received. It made a lot of money though, but it wasn't well received by the critics. But then Wonder Woman came out, wasn't hurt by that standalone film, and it did well. Aquaman has that opportunity to do that as well, to go forward and make it a great film. Okay, and hopefully they'll do some great things. They'll show Ocean Master, he's in there, but hopefully they'll say Black Manta reveal at the end as the next villain for the next Aquaman movie or the next villain for a team up movie. They don't use Black Manta in this one. They just kind of let Ocean Master be the villain and Black Manta kind of at the end, who emerges somehow, some way to be the next villain and the main villain of Aquaman. Okay, so next movie on the slate, I believe they have was Wonder Woman 2. Now, we knew Wonder Woman 2 was coming, and Wonder Woman 2 will do well. Got a good reputation. People are going to look at Wonder Woman 1 and say, hey, it was great. I want to see 2, and they can build on that. I have faith in Patty Jenkins. I think she'll do a great job. Now, the problem with Wonder Woman 2 is they got to be careful with the storyline. And again, I have nothing but positive things to say about Patty Jenkins. I think she gets it. I think it's to be set in World War II or something like that. That's fine. But I hope they use make sure they go back in the comics and use some of the stuff there. there could be great things they could do with the Wonder Woman. They could have go back to Themyscira and have uh, Cersei's be an Amazon who practices magic, and she was banned away, and Cersei be the main villain, and with her magic, have her find a disgruntled Amazon who's jealous of Diana, jealous that Diana is has left the island and is making a name for herself, and Cersei in turns with her magic embodies this Amazon with the power of a cheetah. So now you have an Amazon who's just as strong as one woman or on that level with cheetah powers. Okay, that equals it out. Now you have a fight here that makes sense. That hey, Cersei used another Amazon, created cheetah, and she's gonna take on one woman in some kind of conflict, maybe in World War II. I don't know, but I hope they use that storyline. It's time to start getting on the second film. Start getting to these heroes' main villains, main nemesis. And I think Cheetah would be a great villain to bring up. Say she's part of Amazon, so they explain some of her power and how she got her power through Cersei's. Cersei was maybe Queen Hippolyta's sister who was banned away. They could do a lot of things. They could do it much like they do Thor and Loki in a lot of ways. So that's an opportunity that I hope they take. Excuse me, let me scratch my eye here. There we go. I hope they take and take advantage of, because it could really be special. Wonder Woman 2 could really be special. And again, another standalone film. So getting away from Justice League, they go on Aquaman. Hopefully does a good job. Wonder Woman will definitely continue the storyline. Got a good reputation. It started building back up. Since they're not going to reboot, okay, I'm saying since they're not going to reboot altogether, which I think they should, just reboot and take the exact script from Justice League War and go right into a brand new Justice League. Say we're going to new actors, everything, Justice League War. Boom. If you haven't seen the animated series, go see it. Take a look at it. Tell me what you think. That's how you should have started off the DCEU, but that's how you definitely can start the new one off, but they're not going to do that. So, oh well. So we have Wonder Woman 2 coming up. And then it says Shazam. Okay. Now, I'm excited to see Shazam. I like the actors. I think they work. I think they fit the character. I like the kid who's playing Billy Baxter. I love all that. Here's the problem. They're going to do Dr. Savannah as the villain. And Dr. Savannah and his two kids. If you read Shazam books, they're classic villains of Shazam. Probably the first villains. But I think this is where I think they made a mistake. And maybe they're correcting, because the one thing that was not on that slate was Black Adam. Black Adam movie did not show up on that slate of 9 movies that they showed at Brazil Comic-Con. So, maybe, just maybe, and if Jeff Johns is earning his money, maybe they're going to do this. Change the villain up, which I would do. I would save Dr. Savannah for the second movie. But basically, follow, again, I've always said, DC, follow your animation people or get your animation people and bring them over to the movie division to help them tell stories. Do Shazam versus Black Adam. Okay, there was a cartoon, animated series where Black Adam, Shazam, and Superman were all in it, and Superman was playing the mentor role to Billy Baxter, Shazam, and Black Adam was the main villain who was kicking Superman's butt up and down because he had magic until Billy Baxter realized he had the power of Shazam. That animation is a great story to tell. One is because you have a great battle here. You have power people against superpower people. Okay. 2, Henry Cavill gets to be Superman again. He hasn't had much time to be Superman. And I know he is Superman in Superman of Steel, which is fantastic. I love that movie. Batman v Superman, but we didn't see much of him except at the end battle. And then he, in Justice League, he was halfway through the movie. But again, that was a different Superman. Now, after Justice League, we have the bright, hopeful, truth and justice Superman. Okay, so let Henry Cavill be that man again. Bring him in Shazam as a cameo, as a supporting cast, and run that storyline. If you haven't seen that animated movie, go see it. I forgot what it's called. I think it's Superman vs. Black Adam, or Black Adam vs. Superman. I have to look it up. But if you know what it is, please review it, take a look at it, and check that storyline out. You can tell the story Shazam, have Superman in it, which is great for marketing, and Black Adam. So we can finally get Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the Black Adam suit and get him up here. I mean, my goodness, we're talking, this is not going to come out to 2020. So when are you going to do this Black Adam movie? We're going to lose Dwayne pretty soon. Or you're going to say, forget it. So bring him in now in Shazam in 2020. Henry Cavill, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and then Shazam, all in the same movie. That's how you do it. Follow the animation, DC. Follow the animation path. They will guide you and will not betray you. The story's already done. It's a good story and will get people excited. Okay. So, last one I'm going to go over. The fourth movie is Justice League Dark is what they have now. Mixed feeling about Justice League Dark. I think it's a mistake, personally. Only from the fact they may confuse the audience. But, Justice League Dark, we're talking 2021, I think, roughly, when that might come out. If you do Justice League Dark, I would say you need to have the new Batman in there as the linchpin to bring the Justice League Dark together. Not so much together, but find them. Not find them like in Justice League, but say, maybe they're facing some mystical threat. Much, again, I harken back. The animated movie, Justice League Dark, follow that path. Where Batman, a familiar face, not for me and you. We know Justice League Dark. We know Constantine, Zatanna, Etrigan. We know all Deadman. I don't know who else they might put in there. We know all those characters. But to the regular public, these are brand new characters. You're going to have to introduce them in one big movie. Swamp Thing as well. Swamp Thing will be in there. And tell their, a little flashback, tell their story. But the audience needs some kind of connective tissue or something they recognize from the past. Something they recognize as a brand, as something they always love to see. And that's Batman. Have Batman, just like they did in the animated series, kind of be in it. Not the main guy, but kind of be in it to help out. Much like he was in Suicide Squad. Just have him be a little portion of it. Meeting Constantine saying, this is a mystical threat. And this is something that I need you guys to take care of. Can you put a team together or something? And kind of do it somehow like that. But that would be the way to do it. Going with Batman. And the ironic thing is, this is the Justice League that Zack Snyder should direct. Now, he won't, because DC and Warner Brothers is done with Zack Snyder. But this is the Justice League that fits Zack Snyder's style. Dark, grim, Watchmen, 300 style, Justice League Dark. So again, a failure to understand directors that fit the right properties, the right characters. Zack Snyder would be great. But no fear. You do have another director already in the DCEU who could take this on. You take Aquaman, James Wan, and move him from Aquaman, hopefully it's good, right to Justice League Dark. James Wan knows horror. And he could do a fantastic job with those Justice League Dark characters. I just laid it out for you, DC. James Wan for Justice League Dark if you're going to go that way. Okay? And hopefully it's great and it can relaunch the idea of bringing the Justice League back after a while. But those are the four movies that are coming up right now. And as far as the other slates, Batgirl, Green Lantern Corps, Suicide Squad 2, I mean, I could care less. They're just movies. Here's a bunch of movies. They make no sense. They're in no order. They're no rhyme or reason. Maybe that's what they're doing, the standalone movies, and they're not going to connect. And if that's what they're going to do, say it. That's fine. We got our standalone movie. But they got to connect sometime. Because you can't have Batgirl without having Batman mentioned or Batman movie first. It doesn't make any sense. Green Lantern Corps can be a standalone movie. But it just... I'm no longer excited when I see these things. I remember how I felt I think it was 5 years ago at the Comic-Con in San Diego when they brought out the general in Man of Steel. And I don't know his name. And he was reading the script, reading some words. And they showed the Superman symbol. And then they showed a Batman symbol imposed over it. People lost their mind. I was shaking when I saw that. Watch that. Go back and go YouTube that. YouTube that part. on when San Diego Comic-Con, when Batman v Superman was introduced as the next movie, people were going nuts. You felt the excitement, the energy of people like, oh my goodness, we're finally, after years, are going to see Batman and Superman in a live action film together. I made a lot of money. I liked it, the extended cut. But again, in my previous video, a lot of mistakes. And for the life of me, and I'm sure you guys agree as well, in your mind, not that we're directors, we're master storytellers, but we could tell a better story than some of the stories I see. We would tell better endings, better plot points than what we've seen in DCU. And that's the shame of it all. That can't be. You got to get somebody over there to get together. And I don't know what Jeff Johns' role was. He's advisor, then advise Jeff. Advise people how to make these movies, of what they should do. Directors are directors. I know Jeff Johns not a movie director, but he could say, hey, you know what? In Batman v Superman, you might not want to show Doomsday to land. And by the way, make him look like Doomsday. People will like that. Duh. Do something like that. Okay? And by the way, Lex Luthor, I know you got this guy, Jesse Eisenberg, to play him, but in the comic book, Lex Luthor is like 6'2", 6'3", tall, stalwart, prestigious business guy. You might want to get somebody that fits that a little better, okay? Just a little better. But anyway, I don't want to go back into that. But that's mainly the things that the 4 movies are coming out. The DCU is going forward. Hopefully it corrected. Again, I just think that it's just the taste of the bad one. But I think they're going to cap it off and say that was the Snyderverse. That was the Snyder trilogy, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Justice League. It's too bad they didn't let him finish his Justice League the way he wanted, because the script that was released, that Kilowog and Tamaray, the Green Lantern came down and met Bruce Wayne. I want to see that. The Dark Side ending that I spoke about in my last video happened. I want to see that, and we may never. That's what makes you more mad than anything. We won't see that. It's shot, and we'll never see it. And all we do is think about it in our mind what could have been. What could have been. But once again, so DC, I hope you do a good job. I'm rooting for you. I love the movies. I love your characters, but you got to do better. And I hope you can win people back. I'll be there, but I just won't be there as excited as I once were. And I think you won't either. I think we'll all be there. We'll take a look, but we're not rushing out. We're not super excited like we are for Avengers, Infinity War, like we are for Star Wars, like we should be for DC. They have great characters, but we're not. So we'll see what happens. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but there was a script that they showed that was done by Mr. Beale, I believe, that was done that Ben Affleck was going to direct a couple of years ago of Justice League. Now, it's all over the place. But, my goodness, can you imagine if they used that? If you haven't seen that script, go online, type in old Justice League script on YouTube or Justice League script on Google, old Justice League script by Beale. I forgot his first name. If you guys can help me in the comments section. That thing is wild and crazy. It starts off with action. Now, this is my main thing. People say, well, that sounds all convoluted and this is happening. And how will the audience knows what's going on? Again, the advantage DC always had over Marvel, which they never took advantage of, is DC characters have been known for 80 to 70 years. My grandparents knew who Superman was, Wonder Woman. They knew who they were, Batman. You don't have to tell a lot of story. We've seen movies of them. Before the MCU, we had Batman movies. We had Superman movies. We didn't have a Wonder Woman movie, but we had those characters. So the crowd in the audience knew who those people were. So now with DC, even people like Wonder Woman who didn't have a movie, but they knew who Wonder Woman was. They knew who Aquaman was. Aquaman was known back in the 50s and 60s. So the advantage that Justice League always had was DC could start off with a Justice League movie, just like that script, and people would be, okay, I get it, because we know who they are. Not everybody knew who Iron Man was, Thor. I mean, the general public, people like us, we knew. Hawkeye, Hulk, I think everybody knew what Hulk was. Hulk had a TV show in the 70s, so people knew who Hulk was. But those other characters, they weren't well known, so they had to tell the story. And Marvel wind it together, story through story, until you got to the big Avengers. But DC didn't have to do that. They had the advantage of being legendary heroes that were the most known heroes ever. And they could have done that script. And I'm telling you, just reading some, I'm like, wow, how exciting and fantastic that would be. But again, missed opportunities, and didn't take advantage of it. That's the main thing with DCU, missed opportunities, and it's unfortunate. But I just hope they get it right. I really hope they get it right. My enthusiasm down, but my hope is up that they get it right, because we want to see these characters done right. Me and you, comic book fans, film fans, YouTubers, all of us. Again, I know I was watching Collider Heroes the other day, and you can see just the anger, more disappointment that manifests in anger from John Schnepp. And I watched John Schnepp's show, A Lot of Heroes, great show with Robert Meyer Burnett and Amy Dowan. But you can, that feeling, because he's close to my age, that feeling that John Schnepp had, that's how I felt. That's how a lot of people felt. We wanted to be so good, but we were just so fed up with the failures and the infighting and the studio interference that it's just soured us all. And we look at Marvel and say, that's how you do it. Can you imagine if Feige was over at DC, what he could do? I don't know that'll ever happen. He could buy him out, but that would be amazing. And now Feige got possibly the Fox character coming over, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Deadpool in this toy box. What he's going to do in Phase 4 is going to be amazing. But we want that for DC. I watching John Campea. I know a lot of you guys watch the John Campea show. He expressed his frustration that they're not rebooting, that they're screwing it up. And I understand his point. And I'm with John. I think they should reboot. Just brand new Justice League, kick it out, new actors, and that's what hurts me the most, because I like some of the actors they have. As I mentioned, I Batman, they could put anybody in there. A lot of people put Batman, but Wonder Woman, Superman, even Superman, they can put somebody in. But I like Henry Cavill as Superman. But Wonder Woman, I hate to lose her. She's a great actor. The Cyborg, I think he does a good job. Flash, they can reintroduce him, no big deal. But you would have to lose those people and start over again. But it could be done. It could be done. So again, it's upsetting. It hurts me. It's why I'm mentioning this in the video. It hurts me. I know it hurts a lot of you out there as well. But anyway, those are the two storylines I want to go over. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Want to hear what you think, your thoughts, storylines, and theories as well. You also going to hit me up on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.